Hello, movers and shakers. Welcome to Make Things Happen with Diana Pagano. That's me. I came from struggle, living life on survival mode all the time. I'm a first-generation Mexican-American entrepreneur from San Diego. I grew up in a very unstable environment and later found myself in my young adult life living in that same vicious cycle. And I want you to know that life doesn't have to be this way. Life is meant to be so much more than settling for a mediocre life. I became obsessed with learning about the human mind and what makes some people so successful while other people struggle. My life changed when I learned the power of your mindset and how it applies to every part of your life. I'm a mother to 4 beautiful blessings and a wife to a man who dreams as big as I do. I'm a business leader, speaker, and author. I have made it my life's mission to share all the tools and techniques that have changed my life because I know that they will for you too. All your hopes and dreams really lie in the how. How are you making things happen, and are they in the fashion that your goals need them to be? Are you ready to stop dreaming for what could be and turn those dreams into reality? I thought so. Well, get ready to live life on your terms. It's go time. Hi, I'm Diana Pagano, and today we're talking on today's podcast on gratitude. A lot of times people don't understand the power that gratitude really brings to your life in any shape or form, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. People say, yeah, of course I'm grateful. Well, there is no, of course I'm grateful. It's how are you practicing gratitude on a daily basis? I can't tell you how often in my journey, gratitude just saved the day. You know, you can't feel an emotion of scared or frustration coupled with gratitude at the same time. It's actually impossible. Try it. You won't be able to. So when you're in a state of gratitude, you're opening up possibilities of what else could enter your life. And you might be wondering, well, how do I have gratitude when I just got a call from the doctor to give me bad news? Or how do I have gratitude when a loved one just got diagnosed with cancer, right? Or I lost a family member, or I just lost my job. It might sound a little bit odd. I remember in my journey early on that I was like, how am I going to be grateful when I'm having a hard time with whatever I was going through at the time? How do you find joy in the craziness and the madness of life? And I'm here to tell you because I've done it. I've walked in those shoes of frustration or worry or anguish, anxiety. And it just robs you from your joy. It robs you from your peace. You can't be productive at work with your customers, with your significant other, with your family members. And how you show up really matters. And you can't show up in the best fashion that you know how if you're not, right? Like if you're not controlling how you feel inside. And yes, I understand that things are going to happen. But I'm telling you, when you practice gratitude, even when it's sun shines out, but when the storm is hitting you, that's what really kind of says how you handle the situation is really going to define your reality. It's going to define whether you're successful or if you're going to fold and allow that situation to truly cripple you. And again, it's not that things aren't going to happen in your life, but it's knowing that, hey, when you practice gratitude as a daily thing in your life, where it becomes a habitual thing that you just are just practicing gratitude. The first thing when you wake up in the morning, you forgot to do it when you woke up? What about when you're driving the kids to school or you're driving to work? You can never it doesn't have to be a perfect time that you need to set time and do yoga. You can do gratitude as you're making breakfast. You can say, thank you for this beautiful day. I'm grateful for the air in my lungs. I'm grateful that I'm healthy. I'm grateful that today I'm going to breathe better than I did yesterday because yesterday was crazy. It could be in any shape or form. It could be of any size. You don't have to spend 20 minutes practicing gratitude and making it a chore. I'm telling you, when you practice gratitude on a daily basis, it could be as small as 5 seconds. What I do every time I wake up, I always say, thank you, Jesus, for this day. Thank you for who do I get to help today? What am I going to get into? What kind of impact am I going to make today? Whether it's on other people around me, whether it's a family member, whether it's a customer, whether it's somebody in my audience, whether it's on myself, believe it or not, you're impacting somebody in your life. So if I'm sitting there with worry, if I'm sitting there talking to myself, having this inner dialogue, I'm influencing myself of why I should not do that thing because it's scary, or I'm doubting, what if it doesn't work out? But when you practice gratitude in the storm, in the time of worry, your life is going to change. Hands down. There's no doubt in my mind. When you start practicing gratitude, when you're worried, when you're scared, when you're nervous, if you're frustrated, that you're saying thank you for the patience that I'm getting today, right? Like if I ask for patience, I truly believe, is God really going to bring you everything that's going to work out? The snap of your finger? No. When you ask for patience, God's going to give you things in your life that are going to challenge your patience, that are going to test your patience, right? If I say thank you because I'm at peace today, does that mean that there's nothing that's going to come your way to bring some sort of worry or maybe a little bit of anguish, right? But it's what you're doing up front to get ahead of the game. Don't wait until the storm hits you for you to be like, okay, now I'm going to pray. Now I'm going to, put all hands on deck. There's nothing wrong when stuff hits the fan, right? And you get down on your knees and you want to pray because you're scared. There's nothing wrong with that. That's reactive prayer. And I'm not a priest, I'm not a pastor, but I just know from experience that when I started to change my life and started to be more proactive in my prayer, proactive in my gratitude, things changed in my life because I already knew that, hey, when the shit hits the storm for all intents and purposes, I know now what to do. I know now what to do. And gratitude has saved me from so many things. And I know that practicing gratitude will save you as well. So if you just say it up front, I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful because my kids are healthy. There's always something that you could find, even in the crazy madness, even if things don't appear to be going your way. You can find something in that time to say, what is going right? Because oftentimes when we are going through some stuff, right, and things are going wrong and you're just having a day, right? We all have those days, regardless of who you are. The most positive human on the planet Earth is going to have a day that isn't the greatest. But when you're having that kind of time, oftentimes we're so busy with the turmoil, the things and you're not able to see clearly. You're so focused on the problem, right, that you're not leaving room for anything to interrupt that pattern and start seeing what is possible, right? And so when you practice gratitude, you're already sending that energy. And we talked about quantum physics, and I can't wait to put an episode completely focused on quantum physics. But it's all in the energy. We're all creatures of energy and vibration, right? Look it up. Well, we'll talk about it more. But we're all in vibration. So if I'm in vibration of like, I'm not grateful, everything sucks, why me? This is annoying. Every single time I try to do this thing, it always goes this way. What do you think life is going to bring me, right? I'm vibrating that, right? That energy. It's going to bring me more things and circumstances that mimic that energy. It's not some voodoo witchcraft stuff. This is real. This has been backed by science, has shown that where you put your focus, you're going to bring more of that. That's how it goes. Doesn't mean that you can't focus on a problem to figure out what it is that you don't want, right? There is going to be a 5-second focus because some people have said, well, I'm not focusing on the problem. I'm just expressing my frustration. Okay, so you focused on it for 5 seconds and there's nothing wrong with that. It's the fact that you don't want to stay there, right? You don't want to stay there because when you stay in that state, you're going to multiply. And so I just often say, gratitude will get you through anything. There's a lot of different things that will get you through a tough time. But I'm focusing today on gratitude alone because if you do nothing else but just be in that state of gratitude the minute you wake up in the morning, if you forget, it's afternoon, it's lunchtime, you can always practice gratitude. You can say, thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful now that I get to do this. I am so grateful because this soon will be over. I'm so grateful that tomorrow is going to be better than it was today, right? You just put that out into the universe and you start to feel differently because when you're in a gratitude state and you start thinking about all the things that you're truly grateful for, it's going to change how you feel. And when it changes how you feel, all of a sudden, you're letting go. You're letting go of the thing that is getting you so upset or worried, and you're letting it go and you're allowing possibilities to enter into your life. Because when we grab onto something so tightly, you're suffocating it. Let it go, release it, and know that everything that's happening in your life right now is for your greater good. hard for some people to swallow. I remember years ago and I was like, what do you mean everything happens for my greater good? How is that possible? How is this happening for my greater good if I'm having this issue? Or, I was in a horrible, abusive marriage once upon a time, right? And I became a single mom soon after. How is this happening for my greater good? But I truly don't believe that God is going to give you anything that you cannot handle. And it's probably a part of your story. It's part of what you had to go through. But I'm telling you, on top of obviously prayer, is that you are able to not just be reactive to a problem, but be proactive and just make that a habit. Once you start doing this on a daily basis, it's going to become just a habit. And you have a phone call that might attempt to ruin your day, that you say, okay, what is this teaching me? When you have a shift in perspective, when you just look at a challenge in a different way, you're going to allow, right, the challenges to now speak to you in a way that is going to resonate and it's going to teach you something. Challenges don't just happen just to make your life suck. Challenges will happen to allow you to grow, allow you to maybe seek outside counsel, maybe turn it a different way, look at it from a different angle. That's what it has been for me. I know a lot of challenges that I've gone through. Doesn't mean that it's over. Doesn't mean that I throw the towel in as many times as I've tried to throw in the towel because it was frustrating or just really challenged to just give up on life. It never has to be that way, right? If you practice gratitude, everything in your life will change. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a whole 20-minute session that you're doing dedicated time. If you have that kind of time every day, fantastic. In fact, you'll attract and manifest so much more. But if you can just do it every single day for 30 seconds, for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes, for 1 minute, you're going to start seeing things change. So that when you know, hey, soon as something happens in my life, good or bad, and it's not just the bad stuff. What happens when the good stuff happens, right? Gratitude should happen all the time. Hey, thank you for this meal that I'm about to eat. It's going to nourish this body, right? Thank you for this business that I just got unexpectedly. Or, oh my gosh, I was worried so much all week about this sale that customer, and all of a sudden it went your way and you got the deal. We get so caught up on like the worry and the things that don't go our way. But what about when they go your way? Don't forget, right? Don't forget where that came from, and that you are absolutely showing the appreciation and the gratitude for this. Being grateful even for the customers that have challenged you, grateful for the customers that appreciate you, grateful for the customers that see your value. So I remember having a time where I'm like, oh my gosh, I was in real estate and I was just going crazy selling stuff and had a book of business with these investors, and I felt like they were just bullying me because I don't know, just thought that they could. And I had to really prove myself, right? I had to prove myself, and I was a tough cookie. And I remember saying to myself, gosh, these customers are just a pain in the what. But it wasn't until, I feel like that was building me to be maybe I had to be a tough cookie because I was letting them just kind of do whatever they wanted with me. And I realized that, when I was saying, thank you for these customers that are a pain in the ass even, right? Even having gratitude on the stuff that's a pain in the butt, I was grateful because it allowed me to kind of, first off, it just gives you that exposure of not being a doormat. Don't be a pushover, right? But I was very grateful for that as well, because it was allowing me to kind of also realize what you don't want or what you do want. Sometimes I remember being at a time and place of my life when I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. Right? So being grateful that, hey, you know what? I just need clarity. And I'm grateful that I'm getting clarity. I'm grateful that it's starting to reveal itself to me. Whatever that is. If you're confused about making a decision, if you're contemplating what to do, that you're simply having gratitude. Hey, I know that the answers are coming my way. So if you believe in affirmations, that's another topic that we can get into as well. But that's powerful. It's powerful. What you're putting out to the universe, you're going to receive. So just be mindful what energy you're putting out there. And again, when you're worried, when you're frustrated, I think that gratitude will always get you through so many things. It's gotten me through a lot of things. So what are some areas that you can think about adding gratitude gratitude to your life. If you're having a challenge or you're having success, you should always be practicing gratitude. Add gratitude to your daily life. It's not something that I was so grateful last year and it paid off, or last week. It's every day. What did you do today to stay ahead of the game? It's almost like, I say this a lot, it's almost like you're bulletproof to rejection. You just kind of put it on and you feel a little different. It has made a significant amount of difference in my life years ago when I started to practice gratitude. It doesn't mean that things are going to be perfect. Let me make that clear. When you practice gratitude every day, it doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect and that everything you do today is going to go your way. But let me tell you, you're going to approach the situations very differently than you will if you're just going, and you're not stopping to get your mind right, to center yourself and say, today is going to be an amazing day. We talked about setting your intention and how important that is. Coupled with gratitude, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to be unstoppable. And just finding any little thing, any way that you can be grateful, any way that you can just start showing more gratitude and appreciation. You don't have to say it to the world. You don't have to say it to the people around you. Just internally, if you say it to yourself, if you tell it to other people, that's amazing, but you don't have to announce it to the world. You just have to feel it inside and say it to yourself inside. You can speak it out loud. Any opportunity that you have to be able to show, hey, I'm grateful for this. I practice gratitude actually for a long time with my kids, all four of them, but more so recently with my little boys, my two boys. Honestly, I probably started this when they were toddlers, but even now as they're older, we do gratitude grapes. I think I've done some stuff on social media if you've seen it. We do gratitude grapes. So we sit around anywhere. When they were smaller, they thought it was cool to do a picnic in the living room. Maybe still to this day, they don't say no to that. But now it's just on we can be at a table, we can be at the dinner table, but we grab a bowl of grapes and we sit down in the middle. We put it in the middle and we're all surrounded, my husband, the two boys, and we go around, we take turns. Everybody grabs a grape, they eat a grape, and they say one thing they're grateful for. And we go around probably for 10 minutes if we have it, right? Sometimes it's only 5. There's times they love it and we go to 20. So it doesn't have to be like a set time that you do, but if you have children, little siblings, friends, heck, it doesn't have to be kids, but if you do have kids, I encourage you so much to show them the power of gratitude as they're little, and they're also probably very busy if they're in sports. My kids are in hockey and school. Regardless of what their life looks like, showing your kids the power of gratitude, they're going to see it, they're going to feel it, they're going to have it. And so when I started to do this with my kids, and one of them said, I'm grateful for Jesus, I'm grateful for Daddy, I'm grateful for the trees because it provides us oxygen. It's such a great feeling, right? Because your kids are never too young to learn gratitude and how to practice gratitude and really be mindful that you can actually include other people and say, we're going to do gratitude, even if it's with your employees. I've never done it with a big group of people, but I guess I could, right? That you could. But I encourage you, for the little guys in your house, in your home, that you practice gratitude and show them that even when things go wrong, they can still find something that's going right. So when you're in the whole storm and things might seem like they're not going your way, what's that one thing that you could catch in the madness? What's that one thing that you could say, but I am grateful for that, right? Like, okay, and nothing's going my way. And oftentimes I remember saying it to myself, and I've heard other people that I've coached before one-on-one that they said it to, well, what else is going to go wrong now? Everything's gone wrong today. What else is going you have this inner dialogue that starts to have a rippling effect. But if you stop in the matter and say, okay, things didn't start off okay. I always say, man, my morning didn't start out right. I'm curious how I could turn this around so that I end the day stronger than I started. Just that alone. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful because today I get to do it again. Today I get to turn the page, right? Just because it was horrible an hour ago or this morning doesn't mean that my next hour has to be that way. You get to decide if you're going to crumble, if you're going to stay on that negative rant with yourself, or are you going to change the channel? Because you can do it. I've done it. I've done it the other way. And guess what? Things didn't get better. In fact, they got worse. And I did it this other way and said, no, I'm going to change the channel. I get that this sucks, but there's another hour. There's another 7 hours of my day. Can I change this around? I don't care if I'm going to bed and the whole day sucked. I'm going to go to bed with peace today because I'm grateful that I get the chance to do it again tomorrow. I get another day tomorrow, and there's many people out there in your shoes that are at maybe your age, maybe live in your street, maybe work within your building that aren't going to get to do it again. And that's the sad truth, right? I don't care if you're 20 or you're 79. Everyone has a story. So every time I get older, I'm always like, hey, I'm grateful because many people don't get to turn whatever age I am. Right? So there's always going to be something worse out there than the problem that you're dealing with. Doesn't matter what it is, how horrible it might feel, and it probably is. It's funny because I've mentioned this a lot, and I probably talk about it multiple times in many of my episodes, but you get a crowd of, I don't care, 100 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 1,000 people. You get them all together, and everybody walks in the middle, and they drop their problems down, and they walk back. And they're all looking at each other's issues like, oh my gosh, you're dealing with that? Forget it. I'll pick up my problem back tenfolds, right? So it's just a perspective of knowing in your mind, like, hey, can this be worse? No matter what you're going through, right? And just having that perspective coupled with gratitude, like, I'm grateful because who am I going to help when I get through the other side? What story am I going to have to tell? I'm telling you, it's absolutely powerful. I know when you practice gratitude, you're going to start noticing that this is no longer a coincidence. That, hey, I tried this thing for a day, nothing worked. No, I'm talking about be consistent with it. Even when things go wrong, I go straight to gratitude. I say, thank you, because this hurts. This is a hard one. But thank you for allowing me to still have peace in the storm. It's like that roller coaster you're on the roller coaster and you're like, oh my gosh, when is it over? And I close my eyes when I go on roller coasters because I get scared. The older I get, I'm not for it, but my boys love it. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I kind of think about life sometimes. It's a scary roller coaster at times when you want to close your eyes, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going to get through this. And I'm so grateful when that roller coaster stops. And I'm already imagining myself laughing out of just terror of the roller coaster, right? So we're going to talk about visualization. I can't wait to talk more about the things that have absolutely empowered my life when things were not going my way, when things were just at its all-time low at times, and what really helped me to get through it. And I'm telling you again, I can repeat myself all day about gratitude. You're going to start noticing something different, and you're going to start feeling different when challenges arise, when you're having your highs and lows. But when you're having your highs, don't forget about your gratitude. Remember your gratitude even more, so that the more you celebrate the good things in your life and the more you're showing true appreciation for those things, the appreciation that I get to have beautiful fruit in my morning kitchen this morning, right? I had a whole plate of grapes and raspberries and I think it was oranges we had. And so, right, in the smallest little things that you're able to just show gratitude, everything in your life is going to start to change, and you're going to just be a better you, a better version of you, and you're going to show up so much differently to not just yourself, but the people around you. So that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode on gratitude. I would love to hear from you. Maybe you've already practiced gratitude and it's made a significant difference in your life. I would love to hear about your experience. And if you haven't practiced this on a daily basis, I hope to hear from you as well and see how you're doing with it. And if you're looking to take on this challenge of making sure that you're practicing gratitude every day and not to seek for perfection. It's just about consistency. Even if you forget one day, that you just get back on the saddle and say, I'm going to do it today. Love to hear from you. And remember to subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. And I will see you at the next episode.